Welcome to Day 6 of Daily December, where we're covering the last and final specialization from Collapse of the Republic Star Wars RPG, the Clone Veteran. So, the Clone Veteran, the lore behind the veterans is that, well, they've been around for a while. They managed to make it through the war for a time without dying, which is great. But because of that, much like a droid that hasn't had its memory wiped in a while, Clone Veterans do tend to, because they have this natural strive to separate themselves from the pack, I guess. Clone Veterans are now at that point to where they really have done that and sort of developed these like weird personality quirks or whatever to separate themselves. Like for every major kill that they get, they could take a feather from a local bird and stick it in their armor like a trophy or a commemorative kind of thing or whatever. This one inherently has a quirk to it. It's basically what I call the Rock'em Sock'em robot spec, because that's basically what it is. So you know droids so well, you have so much experience with them and their tactics and their weak points, that you can, and I guess it's your little quirk, are more than happy to just punch the crap out of them. Forget your gun, hell, forget a melee weapon, a vibro sword, or anything like that. Punching robots is what you do. The Rock'em Sock'em robot spec, that's what this is. So let's start off with the basic combat talents. We have one that will help you attack multiple opponents with a wide variety of melee or brawl weapons. And we also have just some basic help with brawl. That's not something you get very often in this game, is a talent that just makes you better at a combat skill. Typically, it's here's a new thing, take 2 strain once per session in a blue moon to do the whatever action. None of that. You're just good at a combat check. Doesn't happen very often. Might as well make the best of it, and it makes sense because overall you get the most brawl support, mostly because of the ranks of this talent. We also have Clanker Killer, which is to be expected, but on top of that, we have Improved Clanker Killer, which is brand new, and it kind of makes sense that it's only in this tree because it specifically deals with brawl and melee, and also crits. You're better at critting on robots with brawl and melee. And that's another big aspect of this character. There are other talents as well that help you with critical hits in general, which makes sense. I mean, if you didn't know how to best hit a droid, to hit the weak points and get those critical strikes, you might not be ballsy enough to go in there and just rip them apart with your bare hands, but you know how to do that, so that's what you do. And yeah, the stuff that helps you with melee, it's a bit more situational, and there's less of it than just pure brawl, so you're going to be a brawler. Though we do have quick draw. If you do have a weapon, you'll probably want to have some kind of ranged weapon, just in case. I'm sure if you just focus on punching robots, the GM will put up like people on a balcony, and like all the enemies are on balconies firing down, and then you're SOL. What are you gonna do? Climb up there and punch them in the face? Well, I guess yeah, you could totally climb up there and punch them in the face. So forget I said anything. Just leave your gun at home. Now, in order to make it easier to get up there in a world of ranged combat, to get up there and start punching robots, we have first of all some really big help with initiative, which makes sense. You want to get high up in that order and hit people before they hit you, because when you're putting out critical hits, you can greatly decrease their offensive capability. Like especially if it's a minion group, your base damage and successes could take 1 minion out, which decreases their dice pool. Score a critical hit, then it automatically removes another minion that decreases their dice pool. Downgrade is the correct terminology. I know someone's going to get on my ass for that. Downgrade the dice pool, or if it's not a minion group, if it's a rival or a nemesis, well, then, injuries can harm them in a whole number of ways. Make them drop their weapon even would be helpful. But yeah, any kind of burst fire type build, you want to get in there and hit as quickly as possible to try and, at the very least, take one enemy out of the fight before they can act. And also we get some good defenses all around. Average, I would say, solid amount of toughen and grit. We also have help with your ranged defense, and a really cool talent where you have an easier time dealing with incoming critical hits because of your instincts and experience. You can avoid the more dangerous critical hits, which is great. And also because of your experience in fighting droids, you know their tactics and their programming, and so your allies can get an offensive and defensive buff against droids, and you can also get a defensive buff against droids. And maybe you get the other bonus as well as... Is this like X-Wing where you're considered an ally to yourself? I don't think it is. Anyway, whatever. This is a great opening volley type party buff that you can start any fight with, although you might not want to. It might be better. Again, you're sort of a burst fire kind of person. You want to open up with your dual-wielding brawl weapons and score as many crits as possible on a minion group or a big bad boss or whatever to try and weaken them. So maybe you want to open with that, but it might be better to open up with the defensive and maybe offensive buff. And I think overall it'd probably be better to open up with the offensive buff, but that is up to you and your situation. What else? Am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything. Oh, an easier time moving through terrain. That will make it easier to get to your ranged combatants more quickly to, punch them in the face. And I really like the idea of really, leaning hard into the Rock'em Sock'em Robot roots of the character and really having this, collection obsession. It's almost like a game to him where he's, keeping score. Maybe on his very first time, he uppercutted a droid's head clean off with one hit. He kept that head as a trophy, and then he turned that into a brawl weapon. He had a techie character of some kind that he knew, or maybe he was able to, craft that into a brawl weapon. So he has, 2 droid heads on his fists, and he dual wields droid. Maybe he has, droid head armor. There's a droid head helmet and droid head pauldrons and just bandoliers and belts just filled with droid heads of all of his trophies. He's so crazy just going through punching droids. Every time he's issued a rifle, he throws it away, charges, punches droids. He's so crazy that he's almost seen as reckless, and maybe we should get rid of him. Some people think they should get rid of this defective clone, but he's just so gosh darn good at his job punching the heads off droids. And also he has a Russian accent. I don't know why, but if you play this character, you have to play him with a Russian accent. He's already a defective clone, we decided just now. He's got a Russian accent. In fact, I really like the idea of this, an old elderly clone in an Edge of the Empire campaign. After the war, maybe he took out his inhibitor chip or whatever. Or maybe he didn't, I don't know. I guess he would have to be free, right? Or maybe they're all set free, I don't remember. Anyway, elderly clone, he's off on the edge of the Empire, and he is in an underground fighting ring out of some dank, crappy cantina, and he's just punching droids for money and space vodka because he's Russian. So how do you build your clone veteran? Brawn. Lots and lots of brawn. That's it. 5 brawn? Why not? Why not? Can clones do a 5 brawn? I don't feel like doing the math. If you can't do a 5 brawn, or you probably shouldn't. You should probably do something else. I like an agility. Just in case people are going to be shooting at you and you can't athletics check up to them to punch them in the face. It might be good to actually keep a blaster on you and then shoot them. So a 3 in agility, a 4-3, that's fine. 3 in will. Will is good. Will is probably the second best, most important thing for this. Not only do we have a talent, which is based off of a will-based skill, but also it will help you with your strain at both ends, recovering strain, and also with your strain threshold, and also initiative in certain cases, which is going to be good because it's more likely to get that upper spot, so you're more likely to strike first. And one more thing on builds, if you're going to pair this with something, which you absolutely should, I would pair this with something that has at least 2 ranks of Clanker Killer. I don't know if anyone has more than 2 ranks of Clanker Killer, but yeah, I want 2 ranks of Clanker Killer. Mostly the ARC Trooper talent tree. I think that would be really good. There's a big chunk of that talent tree that doesn't work because it deals with guns and stuff. Just skip it, go through the other side, and especially if you're doing night level play, and you get that big chunk of points you do with night level play, or advanced play, I think they call it in this book, and Rise of the Separatists, they give it a different name or something. In Force and Destiny Core, it's night level play. Anyway, if you have that big chunk of points, you can get this talent tree, ARC Trooper, as a second tree, and then go through and get most of the stuff you would really need for or want for Clone Veteran just with your extra points. Mostly the moving through difficult terrain and quick strike, and also there's a movement defensive one which would be great for you.